I will not do bling today. I will not do bling today. I will not do any bling today. Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I'm Patrice, and y'all, one of my students requested for me to make her mom a shirt. Now, she asked for one design, a simple XOXO design. However, yesterday she sent me a message requesting that I make her mom a special shirt for her birthday. Her mama is turning 55, and I'm like, yeah, but you told me, and now guess what I'm gonna do? Make her mama a shirt. So I've already designed the shirt, or designed the rhinestone template, but I do need to cut it out. So today we are going to be heading over to our Starcraft solo, and we will be cutting the flock with the Starcraft solo. Okay, so yeah, I didn't want to bling, but we will be blinging. So if you're new here, please be sure to look at the other content. If you enjoyed that content, please be sure to click the red subscribe button, turn on your bell for notifications so that you are notified whenever we go live or post new content. For my returning subscribers and members, hey y'all, welcome back, and thanks for accepting this blingy mess. So let's get started with cutting our design, and also I will be showing you all how to layer multi-layer designs and how to press them. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Let's get started.
So now we're inside of Starcraft Create, and I created the design inside of Silhouette Studio, but I will be cutting it with my Starcraft Solo today. And so we are going to import the file that we created inside of Silhouette Studio inside of the Starcraft Create program. And this is the file that we will be using. It is a birthday file that, of course, I already told you guys that I'm making for one of my students. So I am just going to set this up on the canvas how I want it to cut. So there's different ways you can cut with Starcraft Create. You can cut by color and different things like that. But I'm just going to align the design on the canvas exactly how I want to align it, because I want to reduce the amount of flock that I'll be using today, and I will not be placing weeding boxes around each individual part of the design. So this just allows me the ability to set this up as I wish. Starcraft Create does have a rhinestone feature where you can turn your artwork into rhinestones with a click of a button. There is extra work that is required, but you can totally get rhinestone designs done inside of Starcraft Create. So right now I'm just spacing it out, making sure that it's not going to overlay or overlap on another part, and I just want to make sure that everything cuts the way that it's supposed to cut. So we're pretty much done with getting this set up onto the canvas, and I am going to click Create so that we can begin cutting this with our machine, and I will head over and meet you all at the machine.
Alright guys, so first thing, we are going to make sure our settings are correct on the solo, and I'm just going to select speed and force. Since I'm going to be cutting SS6 size holes, I am going to increase the force, because honestly the SS10 cuts beautifully, but the SS10 I usually have a lot of weeding that I need to do after the SS6. So we're going to up the force to about 62 and see if that helps it. Now the speed is set at 9, the cut speed is set at 9, and the up speed is set at 5. The lever in the back is already in the down position, so I'm able to get the flock underneath the rollers. So I do have an opening in the back, and so my flock literally just goes all the way back for me, because this is going to be my starting position.
and I use the machine to help me to make sure that the flock is straight, because you don't want it to be slanted, because when it's cutting, it will cut in a slant, and then you could risk not having all of your image cut correctly. Okay, once I have it positioned how I want it, I am just going to tighten the rollers. And then I'm going to use the arrows on the machine to position the blade and housing in the correct position. Once I have it exactly where I want it to be, I am actually going to take the blade out because I need to make sure it's clean. And look, I have flock dots or flock on the blade, and that could hurt your cut. So you do want to clean that off. Now we're all set, and I'm going to get ready to press create in the software. One of my favorite features of the Solo is that I can cut flock without using a mat. Now, if you want to use a mat, or if you have smaller pieces of flock, you will need a mat, and the machine does come with a mat that you can use, but I love the fact that you don't have to have one. It took about 20 minutes, a little over 20 minutes, to cut the entire design out. Alright guys, so we're done cutting, and let's see how much of our dots went through. As you see, it's still on the backing, nothing appears to have cut through, so that's a good thing. I'm going to cut off a little bit because I can still use the rest of that flock. So I want to save that. Now let's begin to peel. Hopefully this did pretty decent. Okay, so a little. We still have quite a bit that's still on the backing, but I'll take this. So it looked like some of that cut the paper as well, which we don't really like that. So now it's time for us to remove the extra flock dots. So this is the part that usually scares everyone, but I'm just flipping over the back of the backing, and I'm placing the flock on top, and this is going to help remove all of those extra holes that did not come out. This does happen with SS6 with me, whether I use the Cricut or Solo, and this is just something that I have to do because I like using SS6. And I learned this trick from Eve over at the Baby's Booty, and as you all saw, most of those holes got out. I do have a few left over, so I can hand pick them, or I'm going to show you all what I'm going to do with that. But I'm just separating it now because I can see the designs more clearly, and so I'm cutting it as it should be cut. So right now I'm just placing the template on the table and letting that table hold those holes for me, and I'm going to just end up scraping all of the holes off and cleaning that off because the adhesive can get stuck on your table, and you don't want any adhesive stuck on your table. So now all is well. I am ready to place the flock onto the chopping mat, and I got these chopping mats from the Dollar Tree. Well, no. I got these chopping mats from Amazon. I'll have a link listed below to the chopping mats. I'll also have a link listed below to Rocket Flock that I get from Heat Transfer Warehouse. And of course, I will have a link listed below to the amazing rhinestones that we will be using today from the baby's booty. But I'm just placing these on the chopping mat as I see fit. I don't like to waste chopping mats. Some people like to use, have it one-sided, but I do place them on both sides just to reduce the amount of chopping mats needed.
So today we're going to be using rhinestones from the baby's booty, and these are Hotfix rhinestones. So they do have heat activated adhesive on the back. So for the bottom part, we're going to be using Labrador, and this is a metal stone. I'll see how that shines. So this is not a crystal stone. It is not see-through. It is a solid stone. We're going to take our brush, and typically you go in a circular motion. And as you brush in, you just kind of brush the extra stones away. It is common to pour more stones than you really need, because that's what helps to make sure that those stones go into place.
So I'm just going to continue brushing in the stones. I brush in a circular motion. That seems to help the stones fall into the holes better. Also, I like to pour in more stones than needed, because the friction and the movement and the hitting of the stones, it just really helps to brush everything in so much more easily. And you always want to make sure you replace all stones that you're not using back into the containers before moving on to the next color.
Alright, so this is all brushed in. I do have one hole that I did not get a stone into, so I'm just going to use my wax pen to place the rhinestone inside of the hole, and everything looks pretty good in this area. I'm just lightly rubbing my finger on top of the stones. This helps to locate any stones that are overlapping or any double stones, and we're pretty good to go. So before I move to the next color, we're going to replace the extra stones that I brushed on the side back into the container. So now it's time to put it onto the transfer mask, and the transfer mask that I use, it's from Heat Transfer Warehouse, and it's their KTM mask. And so I am just going to put this in a U shape, kind of just bend it, and that will help me to just be able to drop it down and keep it moving. All right, so let's go ahead. We're just going to drop it down. And that went pretty smoothly. If you have any stones that might jump up onto your transfer mask or anything like that, continue pressing it down, and then you can just flip the transfer mask over and move those stones as needed. Then I'm going to take this back up. Alright, so all of those stones are on the mask, and I am just going to place this right back on top. So I have the backing, and we're just going to sit this on top of the backing. Press it down, and this is our first transfer, or the first part of the rhinestone transfer. Okay, so now it's time for us to continue brushing in the other colors of the stones. And for this color, this is another metal stone. This is
Aurum Dorado. Now we're under the heat press and it's time to press our design. I'm first going to start out by lint rolling the shirt and pre-pressing it for about 5 to 10 seconds to get that moisture out. This is an important step. Next, I'm going to layer the design with the backing on just so I can see, because it's multiple parts, I want to make sure that it's centered and it's going to align correctly and that there's going to be enough space in between the top layer of the design and the neckline. And so everything looks great. I'm happy with that. And so I'm going to remove a part of the KTM mask and press it onto the shirt and then remove the backing. This helps me to keep it aligned so that I'm not, having it all over the place. And you just want to do that carefully so that you don't, move any of your rhinestones. But we're all set and I'm ready for the first press. The recommended press settings for the Baby's Booties Rhinestones is 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 12 seconds. So that's what we will be pressing at today. Each layer will press that for 12 seconds.
All right, y'all. So we are all done with making this bling shirt for my student's mom, and I think she's going to absolutely love how this came out. I love how it came out. Now, if you are interested in learning how to create your own rhinestone templates, I do have some videos that I will have listed below on my channel where I kind of walk through some of the steps. Also, I do have classes where I show how to create basic designs, and then I also have an advanced rhinestones class that I teach alongside Eve of the Baby's Booty. And those we usually have once per month or once every other month. If you are interested, definitely check out both of our Facebook channels and YouTube channels, as that is where we typically make the announcement. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure to head over to Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok and join the Craftable Things community there as well. That's it for today, y'all. Thank you all so very much for blinging out with me. Until next time.